Hi, this is Urashima of Sinister Saddo Games. I'm going to do my Noble Knight deck profile for the April 2015 Banlist. Okay, so I'm going to go through my cards first and then I'll do like some plays at the end, which should make sense. Alright, first off, run 3 of Merlin. He's like the searcher of the deck. Play him, tribute him, get one of your fellas out. Pretty nice. Definitely run up 3. Any less than 3 probably isn't worth it. So yeah, 3 of Merlin. Then you run 3 Noble Knight Medrot. Probably one of the main guys for the entire deck. Also gets guys out. Also, with most Noble Knights, they count as normal monsters before they're equipped with anything, which allows you to do some fancy stuff, which I'll go into later. So yeah, definitely run 3 Medrot, and less than 3 is like nuts. They don't, just run 3. Then you run 2 Noble Knight Boars. Some people say you can run this at 3. 2 is totally fine. I find that mainly Boars is there just to get out using Medrot's effect. So 2 is fine. Yeah. Boars, once again, normal monster. And when he's equipped with stuff, he can search out your Noble Arm equipment cards. Which is pretty cool. Then run 1 Noble Knight Bedware. When he's summoned, you can add a Noble Arm from the deck to the graveyard, which is pretty cool. And you can also change the equipment from one equipment card to another. And you can do that during the battle phase as well, so you can get more like damage out of them and stuff like that. It's pretty good. Then you run 2 Noble Knight Justin, or Justin. And then when he's equipped with a equipment card, you can target 1 face-up card and destroy it. Pretty good. You can do that once per turn. Pretty fantastic. Then you run 2 Noble Knight Gawains. If you control a normal type, a light normal monster, you can special summon him from the hand. So what you do is you have your Medrot or whatever, and then you're like, alright, I'll summon Gawain, and then you can go into like level 3s and stuff like that. Level 4, sorry. Go into level 4s. Yep, running at 2, pretty fine. 3 probably clogs too much. So yeah, 2 is totally okay. Then you run 1 Noble Knight Gauchavad. He just recycles guys from the graveyard back to your hand. Yeah, it's pretty cool. 1's fine. 1's totally okay. And then you run 1 Lady of the Lake. She's the tuner of the deck. Basically just there to get out your synchro. She's got a nice effect where if she's in the graveyard and then you've got a rank 5 on the field, you can make it a rank 4 and then summon her and then basically go to the level 5 synchro. So yeah, she's pretty cool. I'm mainly running Exceed, so just the 1 lady is fine. And now, sort of technically onto the spells, but technically a monster. It's Guinevere, Queen of the Noble Arms. Basically, she's I say spells because she's essentially a spell. Because what you do is from hand or graveyard, you can equip her to one of your noble knights, and then depending on what attribute they are, you get an effect. So if it's light, they can't be destroyed by. Well, you get rid of her, and they can't be destroyed by card effects. And if they are dark and they battle a monster, you can get rid of her to destroy the battling monster. She's really good, especially like because you can get it from the graveyard. You're just like, right, okay, I'll use her effect to bump into a monster, which goes to the graveyard, and the next turn you just bring her back, and then you just do it again. Pretty good. One of my favourite cards. Most time going to be MVP of the entire deck, just because I've got nothing, but I've got a monster, so I'll summon a monster and be like, Queen, monster, and then I can do all sorts of shenanigans off of them. So yeah, Queen, fantastic. 1, totally fine. Some people might say 2, but yeah, 1's good. 2's mainly for like consistency, really, to get her in her hand, but you can get her out with like Boars and also Foolish Burial and stuff like that. So 1's okay. Now onto the proper spell cards. 1 Noble Arms Aphrodite. The monster it's equipped to loses 500 attack, and then you destroy 1 set card. Pretty good for destroying, face down stuff. That's also that's spells, traps, and also monsters that are face down. So yeah, pretty good. I don't find myself using this card too much, but You know, it's nice, yeah, just to have. And also, like most of the other spell noble arm cards, when they're destroyed, if there's once per turn, they can come back and re-equip them to another appropriate target. So there's all sorts of cool stuff you can do with, like, say, Dristan and stuff like that, where you can like pop your own guys and then go back onto Dristan and then, you know, destroy stuff. So it's pretty nice. Then one Noble Arms Gallatin increases the monster's attack by 1,000. It loses 200 each turn, but this card's mainly for getting over stuff. You know, if you've got your monster's got a big beefy monster, you'd be like, just equip it to one of your guys, and then, you know, hopefully you might have enough attack to go over. Yeah. Also, that bounces back as well, and when it does bounce back, it's reset. So there's stuff you can do with that. If you're losing too much, like, attack, you can sort of like maybe MST your own thing, maybe, to get attack back in maybe dire situations. But yeah, Gallatin's pretty nice. Then you run one Noble Arms Caliburn. It gives your monster 500 attack, and you gain 500 life points once per turn. But this guy also bounces back, so if it does bounce back on the same turn, you can then use the effect to gain your 500 life points again. So, like, I think the most you've been able to get is like 1,500 life points in like one turn, just off this bouncing around to other monsters. It's pretty cool. Then you run two Noble Arms Destiny. Probably one of the better, if not the best, Noble Arm card. Because once per turn, the monster it's equipped to cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. Fantastic. And it bounces back. Amazing. So yeah, two. You can only control one, like, face up at a time, but you have two because you want that in your hand. Then you want two Noble Arms Caliburn. The monster it's equipped to cannot be targeted for card effects. Unfortunately, this is the only one that doesn't bounce back, but its other effect allows you to rank up or rank down the Noble Knight Exceed monster, which I'll show in a moment. So it's got loads of more utility than just that. Right, okay, now for more generic stuff is 3 Mystical Space Typhoons, because you don't want stuff like, you know, any back row of any description whatsoever, so you run 3 Mystical Space Typhoons, because why not? Then you run 2, sorry, what I'm talking about, 2 Forbidden Chalice. I really like this card over, say, like Breakthrough Skill or the like, mainly because it gives you the effect that not only does it negate the effect of the monster, it also gains 400 attack. So, say if like one of your opponents just like tries to attack one of your guys, you can just flip Forbidden Chalice, be like, target my own guy, he gains 400 attack, and then, you know, like, you'll be able to destroy that monster then, you know, and that can make all the difference. And then sort of in the same vein, 2 Forbidden Lance, same thing, but the monster that you target can't be affected by magic and traps. And then it also loses 800, so, you know, you have face down, one of your opponents runs into your guy, you flip the face up, target their guy, and then it loses 800 attack. What's also nice about this is that if you use it on one of your guys, like, equipment cards aren't destroyed, so at the end of the turn, they gain the effects back of all the equipment cards, and they're not like sent to the graveyard even, which can confuse some people. Definitely confused me the first time I was using it, but yeah, so really nice card. Now, some people might say, why are you running 3 Reinforcements to the army? Well, main reason is space, but also because stuff like Merlin and Madraw and all that stuff, just running 3 Reinforcements to the army just isn't needed, I find. 2 is totally okay. Like, if I haven't got Madraw or Merlin in my starting hand, I probably might have a Reinforcements to the army. I guess if you wanted to, you could run it at 3 and drop something, but I'm totally fine with it at 2. So, yeah. Oh, and what it does is it searches out one of your guys, if you didn't know. Right. Then 1 Foolish Burial for sending Lady with Lake to graveyard, or you can target one of, like, Queen to the graveyard as well, because then you send Queen to the graveyard and then you can just equip her straight away if you haven't got any equipment cards on your opening hand, but you do have this. So you play your monster, play this, send Queen, the Queen equips, and then you can start doing plays off of it. Really nice card. Then, sort of Monster Reborn type spell is Last Chapter of the Noble Knights. You target one of your Noble Knights in the graveyard, and then equip it with one of your Noble Arm cards in the graveyard as well, and it comes back. Really nice just to be like, okay, opponent's destroyed everything through, you know, Darkhold or whatever. You play that, and you basically get monsters back. So you get my draw, and then a thing, and then draw it into a monster, and then you start doing all nonsense. Really nice card. You might want to run this at 2. I'm totally fine with it at 1. But depending on how you're doing and what sort of cards you've got surrounding it, you know, running 2 might be quite nice. Definitely probably wouldn't recommend to run it at 3. But yeah, nice card. 1, Regeki, or Ragekai as I used to call it when I didn't know better. Yeah, Regeki destroys all your opponent's monsters. What more can you say? Nice card. Then 2, Kaiser Colosseum. I really like this card because my deck's mainly built around having one big beefy monster equipped with all your stuff, and then you basically got like one monster with like 3,000 attack that's immune to being targeted, can't be destroyed once per turn, have like an extra 1,000 attack, and then you're like Kaiser Colosseum. And then your opponent's just like, okay, what do I do? You know, it's like, I can only play one monster per turn now. And with most stuff that's using like Exceeds or Synchros or Spiritual Beasts or whatever, you just can't do anything because they haven't got enough room. Really nice card. I love it. I love it. It's the best. And also another card that I absolutely adore is Royal Decree. I'm not running any other traps apart from this card. I find that like I can protect my monsters well enough with the Noble Arms. So Royal Decree basically just protects me from stuff that I can't protect myself from, like Solemn Warning or just anything really. Even stuff like any trap cards that are based around archetypes, like Yang Zing stuff. It's quite nice. Anyway, so that's my 40 card deck. Now we'll go into the extra deck. First up is one Ignoble Knight of High Lancelot. He's the synchro of the deck. Because I'm only running one Lady of the Lake, I'm only running one of him. But his effect is, when you play him, you can get one Noble Arm spell card from the deck, so you can't choose Guinevere, and equip to him. And then whenever he kills anything, you can add one Noble Arm or Noble Knight card from your deck, to your hand. So basically, the more stuff you kill, the better he gets. And yeah, and also get your monsters and stuff. So you know you've always got a backup for when he dies, if he dies, of course. And then running 2, Arcturus, King of the Noble Knights, which is the rank 4. His effect is when he's summoned, you can equip 3. Sorry, you can equip 3 Noble Arm cards from your graveyard to him, and then also you can remove material and destroy any magic or trap card on the field up to the amount of Noble Arms you control. But because cards bounce back, like Destiny and stuff like that, it's possible to just have him equipped with 5 equipment cards. So basically you've got 2 Harpy's Feather Dusters on him, which is amazing. Then 2 Sacred Noble Knight of King Arcturus, which is the rank 5. His effect is the same, where when you've played, you can equip 3 Noble Arms to him, but his material removing effect is that you can destroy 1 monster on the field, which is nice. So if you've got Kaiser Colosseum up and your opponent's only got 1 monster on the field because that's all they can summon because you're just sitting on one of these, you know, you just get rid of it and then you attack directly, which is pretty fun. Then 1 Lavavel Chain. Going to be mainly using this to get stuff like Guinevere and Lady of the Lake to the graveyard, so you can do the plays. Took me a while to get one of these until they reprinted it in the gold pack recently, which is quite nice. So yeah, Lavavel Chain. Then 1 Heroic Champion Excalibur, because attacking for 4,000 damage is nuts, and obviously all the Noble Knights are warriors, so you use it to play. And then 1 Number 80, Rhapsody and Berserk, just for getting any of your opponent's like problem cards from their graveyard and banishing them. It's pretty cool. It's just nice for utility's sake. And in the same vein, a bit taller. It's just nice for if your opponent's got any stuff that activates from the graveyard. You just play him and then negate that. Then one Blade Arm Ninja. Its effect is you remove a material and then you target a Ninja Warrior, which a Ninja card, and you can target himself, and then it can attack twice. But what's nice is stuff like Gallatin and other cards don't specify they have to be Noble Knights, so you can equip it to him and he becomes like a 3/2, so you just attack twice for 6/4, and you know you can win games just off summoning him in and then having another monster on the field. Then one Starliege Paladinamo. It requires 2 light monsters, but because all the Noble Knights are light monsters, unless like they're equipped with stuff, it's easy to summon. And its effect is you get rid of 2 materials, target an opponent's monster, it negates the effect and their attack becomes 0. And also when he dies, you can draw a card. So, you know, it's quite nice. It's sort of like a free honest, sort of, maybe, kind of. But also him dying and you drawing a card is always quite nice. And then one defense position, Guerrilla Cowboy, because you only ever summon him in defense position. Yeah, when he's in defense position, you just deal 800 attack to an opponent, and you know that can win your game. You summon him in attack mode. You can like give himself like 1,000 attack and reduce your opponent's attack by like 500. But yeah, you're going to be playing him in defense mode for winning games. Then one wonderful 101 Silent Honor because just stealing your opponent's monsters is amazing. You know, you spend all this time like getting the dudes out and they're like, I'll take that. So yeah, pretty good. Castell, same sort of deal. You just play him, like shuffle your opponent's monster that they spent like 3 turns getting out back into like the extra deck or whatever. So yeah, Castell, pretty nice. Also, if you get rid of 1 material, you flip cards face down, but can't say I've ever used that effect. And then, one number 58, Burning Visor. I love this card. I love this more than like some of my other extra deck cards. Its effect is, once per turn, you can attach it to another Exceed monster you own, and then that monster can attack directly. It doesn't use any materials. Obviously, when it goes to being equipped, it does lose its materials. But yeah, you play rank 5 king, and then you've got all your guys and your equipment, and then you've got a space, and your opponent's behind some sort of big beefy monster that you don't want to bump into, or like you know they can't do anything using said monster, and because you're on Kaiser Coliseum, they can't actually use anything, so they're basically sitting there waiting for you to kill it so you can get another thing, and then you just go, Burning Visor, I attack directly until you give up. Like, I can't say I've won many games using this, but whenever I win with this, people are just like, I don't even, how did this happen? So, yeah, I honestly, I love this card. Right, I'm going to show you some easy plays to do now. So I'll be with you in a moment. Right, the first one you can do is in your opening hand if you've got Noble Knight Medrort and anything that bounces back. Preferably Destiny is the one you want, but obviously Aphrodite and Gallatin and Caliburn also equally as good. Is what you do is you play Noble Knight Medrort, equip it with Destiny, you activate Medrot's effect, get rid of the material, and you summon Boars. It has to be in defense mode due to this effect. Destiny will then bounce back. You equip it to Boars. Activate Boars' effect. Search your deck for 3 equipments to go into the graveyard, and then you'll get 1 to your hand. You will then equip that one that went to your hand to Medrort, and now because they both rank up due to their effect, they become level 5. So you can just immediately exceed them into rank 5 king, and you will equip him with 4 equipment cards. Basically, that's like the best way to start. And if you've got Kaiser Coliseum in your first, in your hand as well, you've basically got a turn 1 lock where your opponent can only summon 1 monster, and the monster they're against has like 3,000 attack, can't be destroyed once a turn, can't be targeted, and you gain 500 life points per turn. It's not fun to go against. I mean, it's hilarious when you get it off, but your opponent's probably not going to do too well against that. Another one is if you've got Madrot, but you don't have one that bounces back, like Queen and also Excalibur. I'd say instead of going into your equip, obviously your equipment to Madrot, instead of going into Boars, you go into Bedware. Now Bedware's effect is that when he's summoned, you send one equipment spell card from your graveyard, from your deck to the graveyard even. So you'd pick something like, if you've got Excalibur, you'd pick Destiny or something like that. Obviously, the one you equip Madrot would obviously be destroyed. That would go to the graveyard, and then all you do is just exceed those two into the rank 4 guy instead, and then at least then he's equipped with can't be destroyed once per turn and can't be targeted. And then of course, if you've gone second in that turn, then you know you can destroy some back row as well. It's not as deadly, but you know you've at least got your big beefy monster out, and you know he's immune to stuff. Another thing you can do with that actually though, on a different note, is if you've got Madrot out, and then say your next turn, a normal summon Bedware, you can send a random thing to the graveyard, but what you can do is equip it with something like Gallatin. Oh, and this only works if you've actually summoned, where's he gone? If you've summoned him with Merlin, so you need a Merlin in the graveyard as well, so Merlin's in the graveyard. Or of course you could send Merlin there by Foolish Burial, I guess. So yeah, Merlin in the graveyard. You can equip, preferably Madrot. Well, you want Madrot actually equipped with something like Gallatin, so he becomes a 2/7. You would then go into your battle phase. You would attack for 2/7. You would then activate Bedware's effect, which is once per turn you can, well, once per he's face up on the field, basically. And you can change the equipment from one monster to another. So you'd attack, switch it over, equip Gallatin to him instead, and then he would become a 2/6. And then because Merlin's effect from the graveyard to exceed a monster is quick, you can then do it during the battle phase into rank 4 king, and then equip him with that, and then attack again. Really nice. You can deal tons of damage, and especially depending on what you've got in the graveyard, you can basically, if you're attacking directly, you can basically win the duel that way, which is pretty swish. Right. Say for example as well, you haven't got a great hand, and say you've drawn like Boars and a random card. You can't do any summoning with Boars, but what you can do is if you play Boars, especially anything that ranks up, to be honest, Boars, obviously you'd be able to do a play with Madrot, so this is mainly only if you've drawn Boars. Is you play Boars, you equip him with a thing that he's got, and then you can activate his effect if you want, because that's not destroyed when his effect goes off. But then if you've got a Foolish Burial in hand, Foolish Burial, the Lady of the Lake to the graveyard, and then Lady of the Lake's effect is that she can target one level 5 monster on the field, change it to level 4, and then special summon her. So because Boars becomes level 5 when he's equipped something, change him to level 4, special summon Lady Lake, and then you go and synchro into this fella. And then obviously his effect goes off, and you equip him with stuff, and anything that bounces back comes back, and then, you know, it's a pretty nice play to get off actually when you don't draw a very nice hand, but you've still got monsters. Pretty cool. The sort of last one I'm going to go over really is more sort of if you're not doing great and you've got loads of monsters in the graveyard, but I guess also if you've got Foolish Burial you can do this turn 1. We've got what you've had, right? You equip them with something, so just whatever. Preferably something that probably doesn't bounce back, but you can choose not to activate their bounce back effect. But yeah, so you equip them with a thing, and then his effect is you destroy a noble arm that's equipped to him, and then you can add one noble knight from the graveyard to your hand. So what you do is you pick Gawain, which obviously his effect is you can special summon him when you control one light normal monster. And because Gaucherad counts as a light normal monster when he's not equipped with anything. Obviously, when you've got Gawain back to hand, you get rid of the material, and if it bounces back, you choose not to. You then special summon Gawain into defense mode, and then exceed into your level 4, basically, or any other level 4 that you need to, really. But of course, if you've got a terrible opening hand, but you've drawn Gauchivad and an equipment, as well as Foolish Burial, I guess you could Foolish Burial Gawain to the graveyard, maybe, if you're in like a dire situation. But yeah, that's just quite a nice one to do sort of mid-game to late game, and you're sort of, you're not doing the best, and you just sort of want to, get a monster out to sit behind. Well, I hope you enjoyed my deck profile. You should probably like and comment and all that sort of stuff. Until next time, bye! Moochie deck. Hybrid Moochie like...
Hybrid Shadol Mookie.
I bet you could make that. Well, they're all normal monsters. You could make like a Cool Fort Smoky deck.
Yeah, you could.
Or like a
mono.
No one would be the best card ever.